Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan, and welcome to another episode of our Let Review Drill. This is in preparation for science majorship for your licensure examination for professional teachers come March 2025. And before we start, let me share our slide for today's episode. All right. Okay, so for our let review drill for this episode, we'll be focusing on biochemistry. This is our review drill number 11. So again, shout out sa lahat ng mga nanonood po ng ating mga let review drills for science majorship, sa ating mga science majors who really are preparing adequately for the upcoming board exam. I hope you are doing your best, no, to really ace the board exam at sama-sama tayong magdasal at sama-sama tayong maghanda para sa inyong nalalapit na board exam. Okay? So, of course, let us all be reminded with our goal to pass and even top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. And let's claim and manifest that. All right? So, I hope you have your paper and pen with you. Sabayan niyo po akong ulit, no? Muli sa pagsasagot ng ating items for biochemistry. I prepared 10 items for this. And we will be focusing on chemistry, sub-area biochemistry, where we have two learning outcomes. The first one is to show understanding of the structure, functions, and reactions of macromolecules. And secondly, discuss how bacteria, viruses, and chemicals affect human health. Base po ito sa ating enhanced table of specification na inisyu ng ating board for professional teachers through board resolution number 11 series of 2022. And I think everybody is ready now for our let review drill. So try to answer the each of the items and we will rationalize afterwards. Okay? So for our item number one, which macromolecule is responsible for storing and transmitting genetic information? A, proteins, B, lipids, C, nucleic acids, D, carbohydrates. Okay, so we're talking about the macromolecules. So these are the four macromolecules, and we're looking at the genetic information transmission. And which macromolecule is responsible to that? LPT top natures, of course, that's our nucleic acids. Remember, our nucleic acids, you have the DNA and the RNA. So for our macromolecules, you can see here in our data retrieval chart, we have first the carbohydrates, which primarily function as the primary energy source and also helps or supports in terms of structural, no? So structure provides structural support as well. So when the board exam would ask you what's the monomer of carbohydrate, that is monosaccharide. Pag walang monosaccharide, example niyan is glucose. You can answer glucose or monosaccharide or simple sugar. While the type of bond, no, for these macromolecule is glycosidic bond. All right. For protein, of course, these are enzymes which actually this includes enzymes which provide structural components, function for signaling, and even immunity. So remember, proteins for repair, no, and growth of our tissue. So when the board exam, when PRC asks you about the monomer of proteins or the building block of proteins, these are amino acids. Okay. And the type of bond is peptide bond, right? So this one is glycosidic to carbohydrate, peptide bond to proteins. Now for the lipids, no, long-term energy storage, and of course, a component of our cell membrane, no, structure of the membrane, and of course, acts as insulator. So pag nakita sa board exam, this was previously asked in the board, what macromolecule serves as insulator of the body? That is lipids. And when we talk about the monomers or the building blocks of lipids, we have glycerol and fatty acid. And the type of bond for lipids is, of course, ester bond. All right. And lastly, we have the nucleic acids, no, store and transmit genetic information. And this includes our deoxyribonucleic acid and the ribonucleic acid. So the monomer or the building block of our nucleic acid is of course the nucleotides. Okay, and what type of bond is exhibited by the nucleic acid? That is phosphodiester, a covalent bond, or hydrogen bond. So we have phosphodiester bond and hydrogen bond for nucleic acid. So again, these are our macromolecules. Item number two, enzymes are a type of blank, A carbohydrate, B lipid, C protein, D nucleic acid. Of course, we partially mentioned that earlier. So enzymes are actually proteins. No, these are types of proteins. Okay, so enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up chemical reactions in the body without being consumed in the process. So pag walang enzyme, catalysts, since they are biocatalysts or biological catalysts. They're composed of proteins which are made up of amino acids, the building block of proteins, linked by peptide bond. Okay, so let's look at some of the common enzymes that we might encounter in our majorship exam. So I will be giving some description and try to answer it. So this is just a quick let notes and drill for our common enzymes. All right. So for the first one, breaks down. No, this enzyme actually breaks down starch into maltose found in saliva and pancreas. So what's that? Breaks down starch into maltose. That's correct. That's our, what is that again? Amylase. So that's amylase. Okay. Second, digest proteins into smaller peptides in the stomach. What enzyme is responsible for digesting proteins into smaller peptides into the stomach? That is correct. It's pepsin. All right. So that is pepsin. What enzyme breaks down proteins in the small intestine? So what enzyme breaks down proteins in the small intestine? This is trypsin. Okay, so that's trypsin. Next, it breaks down lipids or fats into glycerol and fatty acids. What enzyme is responsible for this function? All right, that's correct. It's lipase. Okay, so another one, we have enzyme which breaks down lactose or the milk sugar into glucose and galactose. What is that? That is lactose, right? So that is our lactase, I mean, okay? Then for conversion of maltose into two glucose molecules, so maltose into two glucose molecules, that is maltase naman, right? And another one breaks down sucrose into glucose and fructose. What is that? Glucose Sucrose into glucose and fructose. That is sucrase. Okay? So these are actually our disaccharides. Now we have here the lactose, no? Glucose, made up of glucose and galactose. We also have the maltose with two glucose molecules, glucose plus glucose. And of course, our sucrose, glucose plus fructose. Okay? And lastly, what enzyme breaks down hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen? So what enzyme is responsible for this function? Okay, that is letter, yeah, letter A. That is actually catalase, right? So that's our catalase. So this is just a quick drill of the common enzymes that we might encounter in our board exam, particularly in our majorship. All right, now item number three. DNA and RNA are different because A, DNA contains uracil, while RNA contains thymine. B, RNA is double-stranded, while DNA is single-stranded. C, RNA contains ribose sugar, while DNA contains deoxyribose. Or letter D, DNA is found in ribosomes, while RNA is found in the nucleus. Okay? So, what's the demarcation line between RNA and DNA? That is, of course, it could not be letter A. Remember that uracil is for our RNA and not in DNA. Okay? Thymine is for DNA. Okay? That's why you have GCAT. No? G is to C, A is to T. That's for DNA. And then for RNA, we have GCow. G is to C, A is to U because the U is the uracil. That's for RNA. RNA isn't double-stranded. It's actually a single strand, while DNA is, of course, double strand. So letter C is the correct answer. So RNA contains ribose sugar. That's why it's ribonucleic acid, while DNA contains deoxyribose. That's why it's deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so let's look at the difference between RNA and DNA in this data retrieval chart. So for DNA, the structure, as we mentioned, is double-stranded or double helix, while the RNA is single-stranded. Okay? Who's scientists again who actually discovered the double helix of DNA? It's actually James Watson and Francis Crick. For the sugar, we have deoxyribose, which lacks an oxygen atom at C2, while RNA has a ribose, has an oxygen atom at C2. While for the nitrogen bases, we mentioned that earlier, the GCAT, no, are guanine, cytosine, adenine, and thymine for DNA. While for RNA, we have GCAL, guanine, cytosine, adenine, and uracil. For base pairing, we have G's to C, okay? GCAT, G's to C, A's to T. While for RNA, GCAL, G's to C, A is to U, right? For function, of course, DNA stores genetic information, which serves as the blueprint for protein synthesis. While RNA helps in protein synthesis, no, together, of course, with the three types of protein, the messenger RNA, the transfer RNA, and the ribosomal RNA. Okay? For the location, DNA is found in the nucleus in eukaryotes, while RNA, of course, is found in both nucleus and cytoplasm. Okay, remember that prokaryotes does not or do not have nucleus. So where can we find the DNA in the prokaryotic cell? It's in their nucleus. No, it's actually in there in the nucleoid region. Okay, so one main type for DNA, while RNA has three types. We mentioned this, the messenger RNA, the transfer RNA, and the ribosomal RNA. Okay? So this is the mRNA or the messenger RNA, which encodes the proteins, the transfer RNA, which acts as a adapter between mRNA and amino acids, and of course the ribosomal RNA, which forms the ribosome. And remember that the ribosome functions as the site for protein production or protein synthesis. All right, item number 4. What type of reaction is involved in the breakdown of macromolecules into their monomers? A. Dehydration synthesis. B. Hydrolysis. C. Oxidation. Or letter D. Reduction. So what's your answer, future top-notcher? So what type of reaction is involved in the breakdown of macromolecules into building blocks or monomers? And that is, of course, hydrolysis. Okay, so that's correct. Letter B, hydrolysis. Not dehydration synthesis, since this is a process of building macromolecules by removing water to form bonds between monomers. Example, forming proteins, carbohydrates, and nucleic acid. So dehydration synthesis. While the hydrolysis is the reaction which breaks down macromolecules into their monomers by adding water, breaking the bonds, say for example, the digestion of proteins into amino acids and starch into glucose. Okay? While oxidation involves the loss of electrons or hydrogen, commonly seen in energy production like cellular respiration. So that is loss of electrons, while reduction is gain of electrons. Okay? So that is naman reduction, gain of electrons or hydrogen often occurring in metabolic pathways. Okay? Item number 5, which macromolecule is an essential component of cell membranes? A. Carbohydrates, B. Lipids, C. Proteins, D. Nucleic acids. So remember, no, in our data retrieval chart, we did mention that these particular macromolecule can be a structure, no, can actually aid in the structure of cell membrane. Essential component of that, of course, that is lipids. Letter B is the correct answer. We have lipids. So remember that the phospholipid or phospholipid bilayer is a fundamental structure of the cell membrane. So it of course consists of the lipids. Okay, phospholipids have hydrophilic heads, and hydrophobic tails. No? Hydrophilic being what is that? Water loving and hydrophobic being water fearing. So making them ideal for forming the selective barrier that regulates what enters and exits the cell. Okay, so here you can see that we have hydrophilic structure here, and we have the hydrophobic region. Hydrophilic means water loving, as we mentioned, and hydrophobic means water fearing or resistant to water. Okay. Item number 6. Which of the following diseases is caused by a virus? A. Tuberculosis. B. Influenza. C. Cholera. D. Lyme disease. Which of the following is caused by a virus? Okay. All right, so the answer, of course, is this one is very basic. Of course, that's influenza or simply the flu. Right? So tuberculosis is not viral but bacterial, caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, a bacterium, not a virus, and primarily affects the lungs and spreads through airborne droplets or the TB, simply the TB. Influenza is caused by the influenza virus, which infects, of course, our respiratory system, and it spreads via airborne droplets and contact with contaminated surfaces. Okay? Then we have cholera, caused by Vibrio cholerae, a comma-shaped bacterium, leading to severe diarrhea and dehydration due to contaminated water or food. So pag natanong, shape of Vibrio cholerae, it was recently and previously asked in the board, that's comma shape, both in Gen Ed and probably in Majorship. Then, of course, we have the Lyme disease caused by Borrelia burgdorferi, a bacterium transmitted through the bite of an infected tick. No, yung mga kuto. So that's Lyme disease. Okay? Item number 7, which of the following is an example of how chemicals negatively impact human health? A. Increase immune response to infections. B. An enzyme inhibition by toxins such as lead. C. Strengthening of bones due to pollutants. Or letter D. Enhance oxygen transport in the blood. So negatively impact. So you can see here, we have add one out. We have here a negative statement, and that is inhibition. No? Enzyme inhibition by toxins such as lead. Right? So this is an example of how chemicals negatively impact the human health. Lead or Pb chemical symbol, poisoning disrupts enzymes by binding to active sites or replacing essential metal ions like calcium or zinc. So this can impair neurological function, blood formation, inhibiting heme synthesis, and other metabolic processes. So lead poisoning, no, disrupts enzymes from binding to active sites. Okay. Item number 8. What is the primary function of antibiotics? A, to kill viruses. B, to kill or inhibit bacterial growth. C, to neutralize toxins, or letter D, to enhance the immune system. So antibiotics primarily function as what? What's your answer, future LPT science top notchers? Of course, that's letter B, to kill or inhibit bacterial growth, no? So it kill or maybe it inhibit, no? Or pwede niyang patayin or pwede niyang i-minimize, no? Yung bacterial growth, okay? So that is the function of antibiotics. And remember, the father of antibiotics is Alexander Fleming, being the one who actually discovered what? The Penicillium notatum. Penicillin, which is a type of antibiotics. And this discovery is serendipity or discovery by accident. So antibiotics are specifically designed to target bacterial infections by either killing bacteria or bactericidal or inhibiting their growth or bacteriostatic. Okay, so it could be a bactericidal or bacteriostatic. So examples include penicillin, which disrupts bacterial cell walls, and tetracycline, which inhibits protein synthesis. So these are some of them. Okay. Item number 9, which of the following metabolic pathways is both catabolic and anabolic, or what we call amphibolic? A. Glycolysis, B. Citric acid cycle, C. Beta oxidation, or letter D. Pentose phosphate pathway. So which among the following metabolic pathways is amphibolic, which is both catabolic and anabolic? Of course, this is Letter letter B. Our citric acid cycle is amphibolic, both catabolic and anabolic. Remember that there are two metabolic pathways. Now we have the anabolic, which requires energy and is used to build up large molecules from smaller ones or biosynthesis. So here you can see the small molecules are assembled into large one, which requires energy. Okay, so kailangan natin dito na energy. While for catabolic, this type of pathway releases energy and is used to break down large molecules into smaller ones, or what we call degradation. So the large molecules are broken down into small ones, and energy here is released. So anabolic energy is required, catabolic energy is released. Okay? So for citric acid cycle, this cycle is amphibolic because first it can be catabolic, which breaks down acetyl-CoA or CoA into carbon dioxide and produces ATP, NADH, and FADH2. Well, anabolic in a sense that it provides precursors for biosynthesis. No, example, of course, the alpha keto glutarate for amino acids and oxaloacetate for gluconeogenesis. So that is both catabolic and anabolic. So this, we call it amphibolic. Okay, so glycolysis is a catabolic pathway that breaks down glucose into pyruvate, generating ATP and NADH. So this one is catabolic pathway. While beta oxidation is also a catabolic pathway that breaks down fatty acids into acetyl-CoA, NADH, and FADH2. And lastly, the pentose phosphate pathway, mainly anabolic, as it generates NADPH for biosynthesis and ribose 5-phosphate for nucleotide synthesis. So that's glycolysis, beta oxidation, and pentose phosphate pathway. All right? So last number, item number 10, in viral replication, the process by which a virus incorporates its genetic material into the host genome and remains dormant is called blank. A. Lytic cycle, B. Lysogenic cycle, C. Reverse transcription, or letter D. Endocytosis. All right. So what's your answer? Future top notchers for our last question. Okay, so this one, no, where it remains dormant is actually lysogenic cycle. It's lysogenic cycle. So lytic cycle, on the other hand, is a cycle where the virus actively replicates, causing the host cell to burst or lyse and release new viruses. Okay, so that's a lytic cycle. Lyse nga, diba? Then lysogenic cycle, in the cycle, the virus integrates its genetic material into the host DNA as a prophage or provirus and remains dormant for a period before potentially switching to the lytic cycle. So this is where we can see some dormancy. Okay. While reverse transcription occurs in retroviruses like HIV, where viral RNA is converted into DNA using reverse transcriptase. And of course, the endocytosis, which we all know, the process by which a virus enters a host cell via vesicle formation. Okay, so that's lytic and the lysogenic cycle for our viral replication. And I think that's the end of our drill for this episode, no? Kindly comment, no, your score kung ilan na nakuha nyo for our 10-item drill. So again, as I always say, laban, papasa tayo. Maraming binabasa, maraming dinadaan ng konsepto, mahalagang konsepto, mga salient concepts, no? Kailangan nating magpunyagi, magsigasig, magsikhay para sa ating inaasam at darasal na lisensya. So laban, papasa tayo, keep fighting, dear future LPT top notchers, and watch out for our videos, for our upcoming videos and our upcoming drills for the next days to come prior to your big day. So once again, maraming salamat and till our next video. So you can check some of our previous videos in our playlist, Let Review playlist for Science Majorship in our YouTube channel. So this has been your teacher, Dan Rugayan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.